Welcome to Off Air, everybody, with Jason and Alicia. Hope your Tuesday's off to a great start. We have a busy Tuesday today.
We do. We have a lot going on.
We have like 50-some toddlers,
I think it's
pre-K.
actually 100. I think it's 120.
It feels like a lot. We have a field trip coming
we have
to KARE today.
2,000 toddlers coming to Carolina.
It's going to feel that way because little kids can be chaotic. Mm-hmm. And we're so excited, though. It's my son's school. It's a French immersion school.
How did this all come together? Did you volunteer or did they ask you to come?
So the principal of the school said it would be a really fun summer camp field trip. We usually do they'll do, I don't know, the Science Museum or I love the Science Museum.
Boring. I'm kidding.
And then she's like, could we
Museum.
come to KARE and see what it's like to put a newscast together, what it is to be a journalist for the little kids? And I was like, of course. And then I was like, how many? And she's like, 50-some. I'm like, oh my goodness. Which is great. We have groups coming all the time. Usually it's older kids, though, or kids in high school or in college studying journalism.
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff. I work with a group, Inspire MSP. We've had kids come here and do newscasts before, which is always fun.
Right. That was like middle school.
Yeah, middle high school. Yeah. These are like
really
toddlers.
little guys. So
yes.
We're going to read, thank you, Belle, for writing a children's series. Because at this age group, journalism, they understand like we're storytellers, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to explain the 5 W's of telling a story, answering who, what, where, when, why.
I was going to say dip, dive, dodge, duck, dive, and dodge. But that works too.
But kids ask the craziest questions. So they might hurl one out of left field and then we'll be like, I actually don't know. Because my son is in this class and he asks me questions that I think I should know the answer to, but I really don't. Like, why is the sky blue? And I'm like, good question, kid. I don't know at the top of my head.
Some kid's going to ask us, so what do you think about the future of journalism when it comes to paid subscriptions versus, what do you think about the eroding of the First Amendment? No.
That would be, I would be like, good question, buddy.
Good questions.
No, I'm excited. we have little treat bags you and I put together. Mm-hmm. It'll be good.
That took
I don't
a while
know, I'm nervous
yesterday.
for kids though. Are you nervous?
I'm a little nervous, yeah, because it's hard to hold the attention of kids because they're all over the place. Like they're just always so curious about everything. So I want them to pay attention, but I also understand the nature of kids and how they can be a little bit unpredictable. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. When it comes to high school kids, like they can get a grasp of what you're talking about. They may not look interested in it, but they can get a grasp of what you're talking about. With kids, it's just like you never know.
They'll just be like,
yeah,
there's a camera and there's a light, and we have a lot of distractions in our newsroom too, like TVs everywhere, people running around doing stuff,
lots of noises. So it's going to be interesting. I've never had a situation like this with a bunch of kids coming to the station. I've been to classrooms, obviously, before to read to kids and do classroom visits, but them coming into our space, they better get ready to produce.
We're putting you to work, kids.
We're going to put them right on a show.
No, it'll be good. Well, so tune in tomorrow. We'll let you know how it goes. We're going to have a photographer kind of follow us around too, so we'll get some behind the scenes.
It's going to be
chaos.
Adorable, no doubt about it.
It's going to be good. That got us thinking though. Favorite memory of a school field trip when you were young? Any come to mind? Did you go to a news station ever?
Why'd you have to take away my thunder? I was just about to talk about that.
Oh my goodness! And I didn't even know.
You know me so well. That's the problem.
Took away my thunder. The book we're going to be reading.
Available now in bookstores. Belinda Jensen. So it was 5th grade, I think. I was on the morning announce team at Crestview Elementary School. Go Mustangs, by the way. And our teacher at the time, I believe her name was Miss Angelillo. I think it was Miss Angelillo. And she was the person that ran our morning announce team crew. And they took us to NBC 6 in Miami.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember walking in, and I remember seeing the anchors at the desk and seeing, back then they had floor people and, people pointing at cameras and running around. And it was just such an alive studio and such a vibrant setting. And I was like, wow, damn. I said damn as a
beep
5th grader. Damn, I really want to do this. I remember just being so fascinated by the anchors and by the whole operation. And I said, you know what? This is something I want to try out one day.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's something that stuck with me for years after that. Journalism became a huge passion of mine after that, to the point where I'd start reading newspapers. I'd watch newscasts. Here I am, this 6th grader, 5th grader, watching TV newscasts. I knew who all the anchors were. I could name them. Yeah, that was kind of the start of my love for TV news.
Okay, that was 5th grade.
That was 5th grade. Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty early on.
That's really good.
The other field trip that I will remember forever, so we had grad bash Did you have like a graduation type?
Like when you're a
thing?
senior?
When you're a senior and you go somewhere? Where'd you go?
We did Valley Fair. And that was fun. Valley Fair we did a lot though. We used to do marching band trips in the summer to Valley Fair. So that was like a staple growing up around here, even though I was in Western Wisconsin. But the cities are also our cities too, because it's the closest thing. But we do Valley Fair, Science Museum. But what was your grad bash?
So our grad bash was Disney World. And they basically,
Florida.
Not to brag, it's still like 3 or 4 hours away. So you still have to hop in a bus and drive.
Do you have to pay?
I think we had to pay, yes.
Because we even had to pay for Valley Fair. And Valley Fair to Disney World, I mean.
Yeah, it's apples and oranges.
Sorry, Valley Fair, I love you. But Wild Thing versus Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, there's no comparison, as much as I love Valley Fair. And it was much cheaper to go back then, too, to Disney World, as opposed to how it is now. But, so it was Grad Bash. They basically shut down the park for us. It was a bunch of just high school seniors from across Florida. And guess who the headliner was? We had a concert. Guess who it was?
A concert?
A concert.
Taylor Swift.
No, this was what,
She was young then. A young Taylor Swift.
What a 10-year-old Taylor Swift. No. 2006. It was Chris Brown.
Oh,
it was like
wow.
new on the scene before everything that happened to him when he was still just first starting on the scene. Like Run It and Excuse Me, Miss.
And so you guys are all just jamming out at...
Yeah, jamming out at Chris Brown is on the stage and like Disney World, Epcot, like the whole setting. It was the coolest thing.
How did the chaperones wrangle that many seniors?
I don't remember chaperones being around.
Florida's like, have at it. You're here.
Let loose on the park.
Wow.
It was so much fun.
That's so cool.
I had videos up until a couple of years of
videos.
This. Yeah, I took videos on
your flip phone.
I had like a Virgin Mobile flip phone.
They're all pixelated. You're like, I think that's my friend.
And I remember like recording video of Chris Brown dancing across the stage and being smitten because it was Chris Brown and I was a little secret homosexual.
Wow, you've had a lot of
I remember
moments.
I remember watching him on
your
the
career.
stage.
You're like, oh yeah, I like men. Your field trips were formative.
Yeah, they shaped my worldview a lot. And I remember him dancing across the stage and I'm like, wow, he's so awesome. And not realizing and coming to terms with why my feelings were feeling that way. But it was just such a cool trip. It really,
fun
really
trip.
was. Yeah.
Wow, it's so different than mine. I don't even want to say mine.
Oh no, please do.
My most memorable was, besides like the fun ones, Valley Fair, Science Museum, we went to a wastewater facility to learn when you flush the toilet and where the water goes. And it was...
That stinks.
It definitely stunk. Oh my goodness. But it was almost like a Dirty Jobs episode with Mike Rowe. So not that we like got our hands into anything, but to see all the poo like in a big vat, like a table, or it's like a circle, huge, and all the stuff that people flush, and it was mesmerizing. The smell was horrible, but like seeing what people flush down the toilets, you're like, ooh. Did
they give you masks and protective goggles?
No, we were like on like the little catwalk around because it's outside, so you got to see like how the water came in and where everything goes, which you never know. It was so interesting in the sense I never would have thought up when you flush where it goes. But that was a middle school trip.
In my mind, I was imagining you guys in like a sewer. Like
just crawling
underground, you had like helmets on with lights, and you're just walking around, and it's just vats of sewage around you. That's what I was imagining when you said that.
But it was actually fascinating because it just showed a different type of job that's out there that's so important, and you got to see how when you flush where it goes and how it gets cleaned and back into our faucets and showers and
the whole
toilets.
system. That is a fascinating field trip.
But man, the things I saw, I'm telling you, it was like, are we in Vegas? What are these things people are flushing?
Really?
I mean, we're little middle schooler kids, so we're all like snickering, like hee hee.
That's a fascinating field trip. That's
yeah,
fun.
I was like, that one, there's not many. I'm trying to think, like the Science Museum, seeing the mummy. Have you been to the Science Museum?
The one here?
Yeah.
I was hosting an event at the Science Museum once, and I got a chance to walk around. It's pretty cool.
Minnesota Zoo.
Still haven't been there.
Oh, you haven't been to the zoo?
I've not been to the Minnesota Zoo.
So great.
There was a program back in high school, I think it was called Shake a Leg, where we got to sail boats.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, we got to go into Biscayne Bay and sail boats. Like they taught us how to sail.
See, these field trips are great because they inform, they educate.
Now that I think about it, like our field trips were not that bad down there in South Florida.
You had things to do.
And my parents, we weren't the most well-off people, but my parents always found a way to make field trips happen, whether it was the grad bash or the sailing stuff, which costs. But my parents said, okay, we'll help you out with that.
It kind of forces you to experience something that you would never voluntarily, like, go see the poop factory. Mm-hmm. The poop factory.
The wastewater
treatment facilities.
Yes.
Props to everybody that works at a wastewater facility.
Did you ever do like an out-of-state field trip when you were coming up?
We did. My marching band would go and perform at different summer parades. So like we did Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. Where else did we go? I think maybe Chicago we did one year. So that was really fun. Mm-hmm. And I remember we were in Indianapolis and I was ordering something to our room for room service. And the woman on the phone had such a Southern accent to me. And she said, like, I love your accent, doll. Where are you from? And I was like, my accent? It was like my first out of state in a Southern-ish place.
In Indianapolis?
Indianapolis.
Yes.
They have Southern accents in Indiana.
The jewel of the South, Indianapolis.
For this Minnesota, Wisconsin girl, Indianapolis, it's a strong accent to me, especially when you like that's your first experience leaving out of state.
Did you have like fried catfish and
no? I was ordering like
greens?
Domino's or
okay,
something.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. Indianapolis staples: the fried catfish and the collard greens.
Oh my gosh,
black
I
eyed
hate
peas.
you. I hate you.
Some yams.
But it was a cool experience.
That is really cool. Well, why were you calling up room service?
It was a field trip, and we had hotel rooms.
And you were like, yay high calling up room service?
I was like a freshman in high school.
Okay, but still, like I would be terrified to call room service.
Why would you be afraid to call room service?
Because who's going to handle the bill?
Well, I think we did. Or maybe we were prank calling. My memory's fading me.
You're either ordering room service or you were prank calling. Make up your mind.
No, I'm pretty sure we were ordering room service. We had money. Like you bring money for your little field trips.
Okay. Well, that's great. I didn't have any money for my field trips. I brought peanut butter sandwiches.
Oh, that's good though.
Yeah.
I love PBJ.
I do miss those days of being young and carefree and not worrying about bills and just worrying about field trips and where you're going to hang out with your friends after school.
The good old days.
Going to the mall. It's just
the innocence. All the little kids. You'll be surprised though. I'm sure they'll sit quiet. It's when you go and redo a room, do you notice how quiet kids get? They're very good listeners most of the time from what I've experienced.
Yeah.
Like when a guest comes into their room, they're all just on their little like A, B, C, D, E, F, G carpet.
Once the teacher gets their attention, because sometimes it can be rowdy and the teacher does the if you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. And they have other ways. I saw a teacher, I forgot how she did it, but they have creative ways of getting the kids' attention. And once you have their attention, they're
and I'm like,
sit
down!
Shut up! But I'm sure they're going to be attentive.
They're coming soon. We have to get going. I'm nervous. We have to get going.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, they'll be here any minute.
Oh, I'm getting a call.
Okay. Answer your call. We got to go. That's
Answer
a wrap.
live here?
That's a wrap from us. Okay. If you want to. Who is it?
No, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid.
Okay.
It's my doctor.
Your results are in.
The results are in. Bye, everybody.